we've also discussed recently that we're now polyamorous. So we decided a couple of months ago, I guess, that we're open to actually having proper relationships with other people. So, yeah, calling someone boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, partner besides each other. But yeah, we still haven't actually met anyone yet. But I'm kind of looking for that. I'm really curious what it'd be like, what it would be like. Like, I want to have that experience. I don't really know how it will work on the day to day, like whether it will actually, how feasible it will be. But yeah, I feel like I'm ready to fall in love again.
Welcome to Normalizing Non-Monogamy, the podcast where we interview incredible people from all over the world to hear their personal journeys of self-discovery through the lenses of love, sex, and relationships.
Our mission is to show people that they're not alone and to inspire them to embrace their true selves so that together we can open minds and live authentically without shame.
We believe everyone's story is powerful and beautiful, yet it's important to remember that everyone does life a little bit differently and that the views and opinions expressed by our guests do not necessarily reflect our own.
Additionally, we aren't doctors. Please consult a medical professional for anything regarding your health that you might learn about on the show. Enjoy!
Welcome to episode 411. We're Finn and Emma, and today Sarah comes back on the show to give us an update. We last talked with Sarah back in January 2022, so it's been quite a few years, on episode 217, and a lot has changed since then.
Well, just a few things. Spoiler alert, last time we talked to Sarah, she was not a mom. And now she is. So that's one change that's coming your way. And today she catches up on her journey into motherhood and what it's been like exploring non-monogamy with a bit of a shift towards polyamory since we last chatted. And this is just really a lovely conversation. So we're super grateful to Sarah for coming on, giving us an update, and sharing a bit more of her life and relational story with us today. So thank you, Sarah.
Sarah is also a coach, writer, and speaker. Links to all of her work is in the podcast show notes, and she'll talk about it in the episode as well.
Yep. One quick note, Sarah actually has a free jealousy workshop coming up in exactly 1 week from today on Wednesday, October 1st. And again, links are in the podcast show notes. You can check out more information there. And with that, for anybody who is a premium subscriber, we're going to jump right into the interview now.
And for anyone else, we're going to go through a few announcements. First up, if you're not familiar with the premium subscription, it's a way to skip these announcements up front, but don't worry, you still get important dates of upcoming events in the outro that we share with all of you there. To sign up for the premium subscription, go over to our website, normalizingnonmonogamy.com, scroll down on the homepage, and sign up for only $4 a month.
Next up, we're just going to tell you a little bit about our virtual community.
Which we talk about all the time.
Or our community, more generically. We lead a community full of over 300 people from around the world who socialize and support one another all day, every day. We host a community on a platform called Mighty Networks. We also host monthly community support Zoom calls. We host monthly virtual workshops, and we also host in-person retreats and events if you're tired of all the virtual stuff as well.
Our next in-person retreat is coming up like in a week and a half, very, very soon. It's going to be October 3rd to the 5th in the San Francisco Bay Area. It's actually in the East Bay. And you can still join us. You can still buy a ticket and come join us for the weekend. We'll have a hike, speed friending, also a pool party. It's going to be a lot of opportunity just to connect and chill with like-minded individuals.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome weekend. You can find out more information under the community tab of our website. If you scroll down towards the bottom, there's a link there for a program guide, which tells you everything you would need to know about the event. Also, while you're on that page, you can find a link to more information about all of our monthly workshops. Those workshops are hosted by different educators every single month. You can take a look at all of the ones we've had so far in 2025, which you actually get access to all of these recordings. And then you can also see which other workshops we have coming up. Our next one is on October 16th with Nixie Knock. It is on personal agency. And again, if you missed that one, you get the recording and all of the stuff we've been talking talking about for the community. You get access to all of that for less than $8 a month, which is a pretty damn good deal.
Yes.
So check it out. Come join us. We'd love to see you in there.
And next up, we wanted to remind all of you to go over to the resources tab of our website, normalizingnonmonogamy.com. There you can find links for stdcheck.com. This is the service that Finn and I use, and it's one of our favorite services. You hear about it every single week, we tell you. So go check it out. It is fast and efficient and just a discreet way to get tested for STIs. Using the links on the resources tab saves you $10, making a 10-panel test only $129. And you support the podcast, so thank you in advance for using those links.
Yep, that lets us keep coming back every single week for free.
Yes.
For you. The other thing we would like to tell you is that we would love to have you send us an email. You can do that over under the Contact Us tab. When you do, the main thing we would love for you to do is tell us, hey, I want to come on the podcast and share my story, because this podcast doesn't exist without people like you coming on and sharing your story. You don't have to be a coach or a writer or a speaker or content creator or anything other than yourself to come on and share your story. So please send us an email. If you don't want to come on and you still want to send us an email, you can do that. We happily answer questions or take feedback, and you can do all of that under the Contact Us tab of our website.
And with that, let's go and get an update from Sarah.
Well, welcome back to the podcast, Sarah. We're excited to chat. It's been a while. It's been 3.5 years. You've hosted summits. We've done all sorts of stuff, and we're excited to come back around and get an update on what's going on with you. So welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited to see you both again. I feel like I want to ask you now as well what's up in your life, but maybe after we can do that.
Yeah, we'll leave it in. We're just here for we're here for the conversation. So yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Well, for anybody who didn't get the chance to go back and listen to your previous episode yet, first of all, definitely go have a listen. And we'd love to just do a short overview for anybody who didn't listen, the first couple 4 or 5 years of your non-monogamous journey, and then we'll pick it up and see what's changed since then.
Sure. I started out exploring non-monogamy in 2016. So yeah, like nine years ago. And I was single at first, kept traveling the world as a digital nomad. Then I had my first non-monogamous relationship, which didn't go well. Like, he wasn't really comfortable with it in the end. And then towards the end of that relationship, though, I met my current nesting partner, Flo. And since last time I spoke with you both, we have been dating. Since then, we've moved in together and have a family. And you said up until the last time we spoke.
No, these are teasers.
Okay.
These are teasers.
Teasers. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I started seeing him before the last time we spoke, and we're still seeing each other.
Yeah.
And we're still non-monogamous. We've been non-monogamous from the beginning. And unlike my previous partner, he is actually happy and likes this way of life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And just a reminder, did the two of you had a little bit of experience coming into the relationship, did he?
No, actually. We met on Fields, which is like a kind of more open, kinky. That's not true. We met in Sri Lanka, and then we saw each other again in Berlin on Fields. So we actually had met before either of us had moved to Berlin, and then we saw each other randomly on this app, and that's how we reconnected and decided to hang out again. So he's an open-minded person, and he was before that too, but he hadn't had any experience with non-monogamy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the last time we sort of left off, you had been open for a few years, exploring for a few years, but you and Flo had sort of been open, but really just kind of started digging into dating. I think he had dated a little bit, and you talked a little bit about navigating some envy and jealousy and some hard emotions that came up around that. And then sort of right where you were leaving off at that point was you had just maybe met somebody and done a little bit of dating, and sounded like you two were kind of hitting a little bit of a rhythm at the end of 2021. And maybe would love to pick it up. Would love to. You're smiling like, oh boy. But yeah, maybe it'd be great to pick it up there and just kind of hear where did things kind of go for you two from there, moving forward.
So this person, I call him Eric. I also I'm a writer as well. I have a newsletter, so I talk about him in that newsletter too. And yeah, so we were dating right before we talked, but like my partner and I were away in New York. So we were on a hiatus, me and Eric and I, but we were dating kind of regularly. And I was very into him and he seemed into me. But when I got back, we picked it up again, but we didn't really, Flo and I didn't really have a super open arrangement in the sense that we weren't polyamorous at the time. We were non-monogamous. And what I mean by that is that we didn't have an explicit agreement that we could actually have, that we would have real relationships, committed relationships with other people. So we never, based on our agreements, like we didn't hang out a lot. Like we never really could hang out too much. And I think the more important reason that didn't work out, spoiler alert, was that he was monogamous. Like he didn't really want to be part of this type of dynamic where he, as he put it, he was like the other guy, so to speak. And I was at first I was trying to argue against this, like, no, you're not the other guy. I really like you. Let's like figure it out. Like I can, let me see what I can do.
Right. Yep.
But in the end, I think if I'm honest, like he was the other guy, and yeah, it's not what he wanted, and I respected that. And we see each other now and then through friends still, and we're totally cool. We've gotten lunch, not recently, over the past, maybe 6 months ago, but yeah, he's seeing someone now monogamously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a learning experience for sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like for everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, maybe just to talk maybe more broadly about that time, that the way that you and Flo were doing non-monogamy. At that point, it sounds like it was more dating was okay, hanging out with people, but it sounds like forming deeper committed relationships wasn't really part of the agreement. Or maybe could you just talk a little bit about like what your ethos and how you two were doing it at that point?
Yeah. Well, when we first started like our relationship and said, okay, we're going to be kind of open, it was really like, well, I'm comfortable with one night stands or like, dance floor makeouts or whatever. Where I was more interested from the beginning in like, it could be cool to be polyamorous, but I've never even really been in a healthy non-monogamous relationship. So I'll take it, like whatever you're comfortable with. But as we went along, it didn't take very long for one of us. I think Flo was the first person to meet someone that he wanted to actually, go on multiple dates with. And then I met someone like that. And then he ended up meeting someone else like that who was actually polyamorous at some point. I guess that was maybe a year later. And they got closer and they were actually kind of like, it was looking more like a boyfriend-girlfriend thing. And I wasn't comfortable with that. I was struggling with that. I wanted to be like, really open to it. But it was hard for me because it was the first time that had happened. And also, and I've written about this recently as well. I think in hindsight, I also, like at that time in our lives, I was, we still hadn't agreed that we were going to have children together. Like we were dating, and having a kid was a big desire. Like I wanted to have a kid, like at some point. And I was considering doing it on my own. So that was like two years ago. Is that right? Maybe 3 years ago now. Yeah, that was 3 years ago. I was considering doing it on my own. I was like trying to find another way. I ended up meeting I met this guy at a festival who was also wanting to have a kid on his, but couldn't find someone to do it with. And we were toying with the idea of co-parenting together. So I was very committed to this, and I was kind of like gave up on Flo as being the father because he couldn't tell me that that's what he wanted for sure.
Yeah.
And
you two had only been together for about a year at this point, right? Or maybe a little longer. It hadn't been super long.
We started dating in 2020, so I think it was
okay,
2 years.
2 years.
2 years, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was, even though that's totally understandable, he's also a couple years younger than I am. I couldn't help but take that as a personal affront.
Yeah.
And that was that like made me insecure about our relationship.
Yeah. That was layered on top of the everything else. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think in my mind, on top of him getting closer to this woman, I also knew that she wanted to have a kid too at some point. And like, I think I was just worried, is he really just looking for someone else to do this with?
Mhm.
Even though that was very unconscious and not something I explicitly told him, because or maybe I even did and he was told me no, or I don't know.
Yeah.
But that wasn't what was going on, obviously, because he did decide that he wanted to be a father with me. Not too long after that, let's say.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate that, because I think, it can be easy sometimes, especially as we're doing this and putting yourself out there, putting ourselves out there, to make it seem like, oh no, I didn't have any, emotion. All my emotions were positive. It was no big deal. And that was something I really appreciated. Our last conversation was talking about, some envy and jealousy and different hard things that came up. So I just appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So you get through some bumps there of, kind of first relationships with other people, more like boyfriend-girlfriend relationships with other people. It's a little bit of a struggle. What happens next?
Yeah, so Flo and I went away again somewhere. We were gone for a while, and then okay, so they were dating. I met this guy. We were actually planning to be co-parent together.
Yeah, the person from the festival.
This was all happening. Yeah, he had met her. They were dating. Like 2 months later, I met this other guy to co-parent with, who's also a good friend of mine now. And then at some point through this process, Flo was like, no, wait, actually, I would like to be the father of your child. And I actually, at first I was like, wasn't sure what to do, because I was pretty excited about kind of forming this family that's not your average typical family with a friend. And then I felt like that would give more opportunity to have more adults involved, because I would still be dating Flo, and maybe he would have partners. It could be like a more of a mixed up, non-traditional family, and I really liked that idea.
Yeah.
And I really liked that this other person, Sal, really wanted to be a father. Like, this was his own desire and wish, and it was very important to him.
Yeah.
But then after thinking about it and talking to some friends, I realized that, okay, I know Flo better. I love him. I trust him. Like, so I decided, let's do that. This is what I wanted initially, and I still want this. So yeah. So then I went on
then you also had to go and have all those conversations with everybody then.
Yeah. So of course I had to go back. That was very difficult for Sal. I had to tell him that, that it's off. I mean, we weren't like 100. We were still going to wait a while, because make sure we knew each other better and stuff like that. It wasn't like something that was happening right away anyway, but it was still really difficult for him.
Yeah.
But then not that long after that, like a few months later, we got pregnant, actually, like 5 months later.
Wow. And through that point, were you and Flo still exploring non-monogamy, or at the point that you decided, no, we're going to do this, did you kind of put other stuff aside and focus on that for the time being? Like, I'm just kind of curious how you navigated that, because that's a big decision to make. And I mean, it sounds like it was a few years in the making for you, of like, who am I going to do this with? How am I going to do this? What do I want the structure to look like?
Yeah. Well, just to go back to your other question, I think I never spoke to that. I was struggling with Flo seeing this other person more seriously. So that kind of fizzled by the time, like even before he and I got pregnant, like it was kind of fizzling. I like, she and I got closer. Like, we went out to dinner once. Like, I started liking her more. I started trusting the situation more, especially now that Flo was like happy to have a baby with me, probably. But I do think my like hesitation, I don't know how much of that played a role. I think it probably did play a role that I was hesitant. Like, I don't like to think that, but my insecurities did hold them back from like maybe getting as close as they would have liked to, as quickly as they'd like to, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think that's the reason, because at some point I was pretty comfortable with the situation. But yeah, they fizzled. And now she's actually she actually just had a baby with someone else. Like this is like 2 years later. Yeah, but that's like another story. Yeah.
Yeah. So that relationship kind of fizzled out, but you had put in all of you had put in some effort to try to get to know each other, to get a little more comfortable with the situation.
Yeah. And then, to answer your other question about navigating non-monogamy throughout this process of getting pregnant. Yeah. So we didn't have any specific like, okay, while I'm pregnant, we're going to do this, or like, there was nothing like that. Yeah. I got pregnant. I don't remember I met a guy while I was pregnant at some point, and we were dating towards the beginning of my pregnancy for like it didn't get serious. I would have liked it to get more serious. He didn't really want that. And I hate to say that coinciding with me showing more, like our relationship fizzled, which I don't like to think that it's because he found me less attractive, but I definitely found myself, I was definitely less confident in myself too. And I like my body and the way that it looked. I didn't perceive myself as being like sexy, let's say.
It's hard not to connect those dots in our own mind, right? Like, well, hey, I'm experiencing these big changes, and now this is changing outside of me. Like, it'd be tough for me not to connect those dots, like even if it's not true.
Yeah. So I was dating this guy for a bit, but it didn't really go anywhere. And then I don't remember what flow. I think he was seeing someone casually every now and then. But yeah, as the pregnancy progressed and I was like, 7, 8, 9 months, we were pretty monogamous. And it wasn't really an explicit thing. It just kind of was that way.
Yeah.
But I do think I don't think it was just a coincidence either. Like, I think, I don't know. I'd have to ask Flo if he was consciously not. But we were just so focused. We were focused on this. We didn't live together yet. So we were trying to find an apartment. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much in life going on. I mean, I would say baseline, there's a lot in life going on. And when you're planning and bringing a kid into the world, like you said, you're finding a place to live together. You're getting everything you need. Like there's so much going on. Yeah. To have the time and energy to then be dating, I can imagine that would be really hard. It's hard to do it when we're not having a kid. So.
Yeah. And so this seems like quite a big transition here. You two move in together and have a child pretty close together. How does that go?
Yeah, it was intense. It was very intense. I mean, the living together, I guess, we'd travel together for more than 1 month at a time. We obviously spent a lot of time together, so it was something for sure, but definitely having the baby was a huge change. All of a sudden there was this child living with us as well, crying and screaming and sucking up all of our energy.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, with respect to non-monogamy, at the beginning we were also quite monogamous, like the first months.
Yeah.
There was one time where I think I actually brought up like, oh, did you want to see this person? Because he'd mentioned her or something offhand. And he was like, I don't think we're ready for that yet. And I think that I agreed, but he was more proactive in saying it. So I really do think it was good that those first 5 months or so that we were quite monogamous. Maybe he had like one casual thing at some point, like several months in, we like opened up a bit again. Like he saw someone and I was fine with. I remember what happened. A woman that he was in town for the weekend, who he had seen before, like before I even got pregnant. I think she was gonna come over while I went out to a friend's birthday thing. So he was gonna be with the baby. and I was going to be out. So I didn't care. I was just like, yeah, like have sex in our apartment. Good.
I'm ready for my break. I'm ready to go to a birthday party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and I think it sounds like, you kind of reiterated this, but throughout this process, there were no explicit, like, you can't date, I'm not ready for it. Like you've talked about, well, maybe I wasn't ready, but I didn't really have, wasn't able to really necessarily say it. But you just kind of both, seems like you found your way to, right now, this is the best thing for us. This feels the best. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe that would have been different had we been dating other people more regularly, like at the beginning of the pregnancy, for example. But neither of us were sort of. So.
Yeah, there's a big difference between, hey, there's no real like consistent people in our lives, so let's just not start something up, versus go and shut things down because we're closing up, right? Those are very, to me, they're very different.
Yeah. So too.
Yeah.
Well, and so, so maybe taking us into raising a kid and being non-monogamous over the last couple of years, it sounds like, I'm curious what that adventure has been like for you.
Yeah. I mean, I think it works out well. Like that's like a very generic thing to say, or like not very descriptive, but I think I'm very happy that I'm non-monogamous, because I think being a mom, it throws you into this identity that like people have about mothers, which is like so boring, I guess, in some ways. And I look around at other people who are moms, and I don't know them necessarily. I already I have mom friends too. I'm not saying all moms, not all moms, but I think like your average mom that I see walking around in the neighborhood or whatever, it's just so, it feels so, I don't know, vanilla or uninteresting, or like hard and beautiful and good things too, but also I feel like my life is so rich with like excitement and fun and naughtiness, even though I'm a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds a lot more
two
fulfilling.
very separate things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess what I hear in that is it's not that there's anything wrong with being a mom, but that for you, that's not the only thing you want to do in life, right? You also want other aspects of yourself to come through, rather than just being your only identifier is mother now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I hope that that's true for other people too. I don't want to sound judgmental of like anyone who's a mom. And I can just imagine, like, I just feel like it would be a lot easier to lose myself and this part of myself if I couldn't connect with other people in the way that I wanted to.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I would say that's not the first time we'd heard that. We talked to somebody a couple of months ago, Eka, who similar had come on before she had a kid and then came on after, and she said something almost identical. That was like,
really? Okay.
Yeah, the I didn't want to just lose myself completely in this and lose all sense of my identity as who I am as a woman, and just be a mom. And not that she didn't also want to be a mom. It was just like that can't be the only thing I do all day, every day.
Yeah. And I wonder, and this is something I've heard before, because it changed. So one huge change though, that like happens when you have a kid and is relevant to non-monogamy, is that now your time like really isn't your own, right? Like there's this concept when you don't have a kid of like, well, your time is your own, and like a partner in non-hierarchical polyamory, at least, like a partner, or not even, but a partner doesn't own someone else's time. So we shouldn't be assuming that our partners, like if they don't have other plans, that they're going to spend it with us. Like, but when you have a kid, it's like you can't just do whatever you want. Like you really do have to ask your partner if they can take care of the kid, and like everything is really connected to your partner. Like your time is connected to theirs. And so it's really challenging to navigate that. It's like sometimes it's exhausting we haven't found a really good solution yet to it. But yeah, like making sure, because we want to spend time together as a family, but then we also, both of us are pretty extroverted and we like going out a lot, not necessarily on dates, but to do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so often, like every week, we're kind of like, okay, so which days are you going to go out? Like which days I'm going to go out? And yeah, one of us always has to be with our kid, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's definitely challenging. It's a whole new relationship now because of this.
Yeah.
For sure.
And how do the two of you take care of your relationship and family in that too? Because it's difficult.
Yeah. I mean, we have at least, we go out quite a lot. So I would say, especially in the summer, now that there's a million things to do in Berlin, I would say 2 nights a week we have at home. And then weekend days, we're usually together. And then the rest of the time, like we'll go out separately. But like we try to meet up with other friends, even if we're with our kid, like with the kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I might have a friend over to like, or meet a friend in a park with our son. And then in terms of our relationship, we also try to have date nights every once in a while, maybe once a month or so. We figure something out. Either a friend will take care of Avi, or we've hired a babysitter before too. So yeah, we also make time for us to reconnect, and it's really special. It's really, yeah, I think that's really important as well.
Yeah.
But we also really value having this, like having our independence and having our own lives. And I think that's what I see a lot. That's quite different from what I see with other parents and families, is that they spend a lot more time together as a family, like everyone. And yeah, I guess that's just a choice. But I also have heard from like randomly like friends who are divorced that they're like, wow, I have all this time now to do my, like, I think there is some sort of balance. I think I do perceive that probably a lot of other families would benefit maybe from having more split time, like a divorced couple might.
Right. Right. Well, and
Yeah.
disclaimer here, right? I'm not a mother, not a father, not a parent in any way. But I feel like even what we were just talking about a few minutes ago around, right? Like we tied it to you being able to go out and date and be non-monogamous. But I think even in a monogamous dynamic with a family, right? I think what you're talking about is really important, is not to lose ourselves, right? That you get to still be you, Flo gets to still be himself, and you get to keep exploring that, so you can keep bringing new parts of yourself and freshness into your relationship. And it sounds like for you two, and I think similar to what I was talking about with this other person we interviewed, was the where the energy wants to go right now is that exploring these maybe other connections in different ways. But I guess I see that as no different than somebody being like, well, we're monogamous, but I go dancing, or I go out with, my girlfriends, or I go out doing whatever, a couple of nights a month or something like that, or whatever the time is to take care of ourselves as individuals, so we can come back to the family and be a whole person, and that our whole identity isn't lost in this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously when he gets older, it'll be easier as well
For
to
sure.
navigate this, as we can, drop him off somewhere at a friend's or whatever it is more
Yeah.
easily. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious what for you and Flo, what kind of a rhythm, or I guess how are you two exploring non-monogamy? Like, what does it look like on a weekly, monthly basis in terms of like dating and getting to connect with others?
I would say it's changing. Neither of
Mhm.
us are dating anyone else regularly. Flo was kind of recently seeing someone like once a week almost, but it didn't last that long. She had another partner. I don't think they were figuring some of their own things out, so that kind of fizzled. I recently went to a polyamory speed dating event
Yeah.
in Berlin. I just saw it like posted on this Telegram channel I'm in, and I was like, I feel like I have to go to this, or else I can never complain again about how I never meet polyamorous people. And like I have to try this. Like I didn't have any expectations, but I went and I was very impressed. It was really cool, and I ended up I ended up going on 2 dates recently from that as well, which was cool. And one of them was like 2 days ago, and I got like the after date text, like really had fun, and so I'm excited about that. That's just one date though. Otherwise, I've just been going out and like meeting. I don't know, like having random encounters here and there at festivals or whatever. We've been to a few Burns, like small festival, self-organized festivals for those who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Berlin, and we bring our kid to that too. Or once we got to go, and Flo's mom took care of our child for like 3 nights, which was very fun. Yeah, so it's been definitely more casual, but fun, random stuff. And yeah, we've also discussed recently that we're now polyamorous. So we decided a couple of months ago, I guess, that we're open to actually having proper relationships with other people. So yeah, calling someone boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, partner besides each other. But yeah, we still haven't actually met anyone yet. But I'm kind of looking for that. I'm I'm really curious what it'd be like, what it would be like. Like, I want to have that experience. I don't really know how it will work on the day to day, like whether it will actually, how feasible it will be. But yeah, I feel like I'm ready to fall in love again.
Yeah, that was something you mentioned in your first episode. It was like one of the things that you just love to do is falling in love, and it sounds like it's coming back. That feeling's coming back a bit.
Yeah, that's so funny to hear what I've said, because I didn't actually listen to it recently at all.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. It's coming back.
Yeah. I'm curious, as the last couple years you've navigated a change in parenthood, this shift in, shift in how you're navigating non-monogamy. What are some of the challenges that you two have encountered with it all?
Well, yeah, I think the biggest one is the one, or what I've spoken to so far, like this navigating the time that we have, and just like, I think for me, that has been the most difficult. It was more difficult before, like when I was breastfeeding, because then I breastfed for like 9 months, and yeah, that's very difficult because you always have to be like, you have to be there with the baby, like unless you're pumping, which is a slog, you have to be there with the baby like every 2-3 hours to feed him. So like my freedom was super limited, and my partner really has a lot of motivation to go out. But of course, he knows that I'm not able to as much, and he doesn't want to leave me alone. And so there was always this like tension of, but I'm feeling like very, like very bored or like empty. Like I need to do something. And then I felt that way too, but I couldn't, or, this was really difficult. And now it's more even. So like we can kind of relax a bit with that. But like, it's still difficult sometimes with negotiating time. But I would say, like, I think, like I said, like I told you the story about how like when Flo was seeing this woman that one weekend, I went to a friend's party, and I think that situation is really good when it comes to non-monogamy, because knowing that, and this happened as well with someone else too, that like he and she hung out together with our son, and I was someone I knew and liked, and I was able to go out and felt like more like, oh well, we're all having fun, this is great, like it didn't feel like one person, like all the strain is on them and one person's getting to have fun and the other isn't. And so this dynamic, if that could happen more, I think that would be really really, really great for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds kind of like what you'd expressed when you were in the decision-making process between Sal and Flo, right? Was Well, you've kind of talked about wanting or having a little bit of a desire for that non-traditional family where there's maybe a partner, a co-parent, and people can more fluidly move around, and sort of that it takes a village mentality is a little bit what it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason that as well that I like the idea of meeting someone and having a real partner outside of my nesting partner
Hmm.
is because I do like the idea of a more kitchen table polyamory structure where someone is really like a part of our lives, and yes, that relationship will be responsibility because like all relationships are responsibility, but I would hope as well it could be a support such that yeah, in this way where like they can come over, and like the idea like being alone with Avi is nowhere near like being with someone with Avi is a lot more fun
Mm.
than being alone with Avi. And so in that sense, like that could be a support. But I do wonder because I've never done that, but that's like like I'm not sure I could do that. I could have the energy or resources to see someone like even once a week, and that person is never coming over and like helping like but that sometime like I would, of course I'd want to see them on my own, but I feel like yeah, whoever I'm dating also has to be willing to like come and like hang out
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Yeah.
my son as well at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Because I don't
There's only
think I have
some-
the energy or resources
I was
or
going to say,
time.
there's only so much time, energy, and resources in the day.
Yeah.
Well, and it's such a huge part of who you are, right? I mean, it's your family, right? And you don't, I would imagine, don't want to have to hide that or be like, well, our relationship exists in a bubble where I pretend I'm not a mom, once every 2 weeks for, a night. I mean, I guess that could
That
work.
sounds kind of great
Yeah,
too.
I was just saying it could work, but it sounds like that's maybe not exactly where you're at the moment and what you're wanting.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. Some of that is good for sure. Like some of this, okay, I'm just going to go out and have
Mhm.
a good time and be like totally irresponsible and just have fun and hedonistic.
Mhm.
But yeah, if I'm looking, when it comes to someone I'd actually be dating, I would need more than that.
Yeah, that could be part of it, but it can't be maybe that can't be the whole relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also curious kind of how you have navigated like being out about non-monogamy and parenthood and how you've navigated that.
Hmm. Yeah. I have had like I've been open about it to anyone I meet, like not always, like sometimes I'm hesitant to share like exactly what I do. Like sometimes other parents who are in the same, because we have like free daycare here. It's called kindergarten, but starting from age 1.
Mhm.
So my son goes from 8:30 to 3:30 every day to the kindergarten. So I meet parents, for example, through that who I don't, you don't know them so well, but at some point you might ask what you do for work and stuff like that. And so for some, at first I was just like, yeah, I'm a coach and a writer. But now I've been like last time someone asked me, I was like, yeah, I coach specifically people who are interested in open relationships or non-monogamy. And that was taken by this random mom. Like she was interested. She was like, "Oh, cool." I think people are very open, much more open-minded in Berlin, in Germany, maybe in Germany in general, than like your average person in like another part of the world.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't know that maybe people are judging me to some degree, but I've been pretty open about it basically, and I plan to be more because it feels good. It feels good to I don't think I have anything to hide. I don't think I have anything to be ashamed about. So I'm not. I don't think in Berlin in this part of the like anyone's gonna be like concerned about our kid because we're non-monogamous enough to like say anything to an authority about it or something. At least. And I think most people are not going to care or be interested in it. But when it comes to saying stuff online, which I do as well, because I have an Instagram channel where I talk openly about this topic, there have been people who've commented like, we need to get child protective services to take your child away from you because, obviously your household is a sex dungeon or something. So that is scary, and I none of the names I've said are real.
Mhm.
Like I don't, at least. And I think most of the people who are saying this are not in Germany. So
Mhm.
I'm not really worried about it now. And I think as time goes on and this becomes more normal, normalizing non-monogamy, that's what we're doing right now, right? I'll have less to worry about. At least I hope that that's the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It just, to me, it's so hard that that's where people land, right? And I'm not surprised to hear that, right? And we see the comments on episodes and stuff too. We see that as well. And it's just, for me, it's hard because I hear you talking about it, and I hear, to me, it's not, how can I get away from my son and how can I be less of a parent? It's, how can I take care of myself so I can be the best parent I can be, and so I can be here, and so Flo can be here, and so we can raise a family in a way that feels really good. And then, like you said, you're talking to families who are parents who are divorced, and they're telling you the things that you're already doing are the things that they wish they had maybe done more of, or now, oh wow, now I can be more a well-rounded human and a parent now that we're divorced. And it's like, to me, I hear you're like, how do we avoid that? How do we avoid separating and dividing our family? So can we be ourselves and create this family unit? So it sucks that people can just, they hear non-monogamy, or they hear, oh, you went out and maybe hooked up with somebody, or went on dates, and all of a sudden it's crazy and bad, versus like what I hear more is, we want to create this space and be ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just a reflection of sex negativity, mostly, I guess.
Yeah.
So just not understanding and,
Totally.
and ignorance. And so I don't know. You can't really do anything. You can't do much about it besides continue talking about it and
Totally.
see what happens.
Yeah.
Which is why we're so glad you were willing to come on and share a little bit about how it's gone. And I don't know, I'm just curious, maybe like, rather than, just talking about some of the hard stuff, like, I'm curious, like, what for you's been like some of the best parts of the last few years of navigating non-monogamy, or just even life, right? It doesn't have to be non-monogamous, like around, building this family, the thing that you have talked about wanting to do now since we've known you, which is, I guess, been a few years.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess what comes to mind now is like, I really feel like very, very happy that I am not monogamous,
Mm-hmm.
and that we are living this life, and that we're open, and that conversation is always on the table, and we can have this fun, let's say, with other people and connect with other people. And yeah, I was always worried, or a lot of my life I was worried, in my dating life, worried about this future where I'd be stuck, where couldn't be myself, and that's what I would have to do in order to have a family, in order to live the life that I'm living now. I'd have to be monogamous, and I have to be a certain way. And I think back to my childhood and my parents, and like, I had a happy family life, and they were together until my father passed away, and they were great partners, but they weren't really in love anymore for most of I can remember. And so it was really scary to imagine what life would be like when I was older, because I did want a family and I did want that, but I didn't see that there was something that's better and more fun and more me. And I'm so grateful that I know that this is possible, that I'm doing this, and that we're living this way, and that I can still have this beautiful son. um, and he's really like amazing. He's like so cute and so happy and sad sometimes too, both. But everybody loves little Avi, like when they see him, and I like to think that that's a reflection as well on the way that we are and the way that we live and how open we are and happy we are and fun and whatever silly we can be.
Yeah.
And that he can see that and witness that and grow into that and be himself too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just thank you so much for sharing. I love that. I love that. Just it's sharing. I mean, you get to share your kiddo too with the world, and to see how others respond to him as well, and that's just so sweet.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I was also struck by what you'd shared too about like growing up. You said like I was a happy family,
Yeah.
but also maybe you didn't feel the love and energy between your parents. And it sounds like that's a big part of what I heard you say too. Is like it sounds like you want Abby to feel that between you and Flo, or you and whoever is in your world, to see you light up and be excited, not just be like, well, yeah, she's a great mom, but like it doesn't seem like she's really having a great time, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Having joy. I think that's the key, like witnessing joy and seeing joy and yeah, knowing that life is not just about like whatever, doing well at school or whatever.
Yep.
And having fun and being silly.
Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you again for sharing everything you have today about motherhood and relationships and everything. And I'm curious too, like how, maybe catch us up on the work side of things. How has work gone? How have you been able to sort of build your business since we last chatted?
Yeah, work's been going, the work side, the project side is going well. I started coaching more and more regularly. Maybe I had dabbled in it a bit last time we spoke, but since then I've done like a proper training here in Germany, in one-on-one coaching, and then I did like a further training in couples coaching. So yeah, I've really been building that up a lot, and I have a bunch of clients now. Actually, the couple coaching thing, like there's a lot of people interested in that specifically. So that's like a big part of what I'm doing now, and it's really fun. And then I also am writing regularly, which I was doing before too. I have a newsletter called Monogamish on Substack, and it's partially free and partially some of the articles are for paid subscribers. And as part of that membership as well, I do like a monthly. It's called a community hour. So I usually invite someone on to take part in it, a discussion about a certain topic. So that's also been really fun. Yeah, and I'm writing a book too. So that should be out next year.
That's exciting too.
Yeah, very exciting. So it's called, the working title is Sex Positive, Non-Monogamous, and Finally Me. And then it's like Free Spirit's Guide to Finding Love, Family, Adventure, something like that.
Yeah.
It's working.
It's working.
Yeah, it's working. Yeah. It's working. Exactly.
Love it.
So that should be out next year at some point. So that's I'm pretty excited about that as well.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, congratulations on everything sort of growing. And we'll make sure. Yeah. And links are going to be in the show notes for everybody to be able to find your work and your Substack and everything else. So, yeah.
Is there anything else, Sarah, that you wanted to share or get out there today?
Yeah. Sign up for my newsletter if you're curious about anything that's coming up, the book. Interested to get to know me better. Coaching information also in the link. I do. Yeah. Come do a 20-minute free call with me if that seems like something you want to work on, is like learning what kind of relationship style you want, figuring out what your boundaries are in terms of your romantic life, for example. So yeah, I'm happy to chat with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And links to everything that you just said are going to be in the show notes too for anyone listening. So you can go check that out.
Awesome. We'll have a wonderful evening. I know it's our morning, your evening. So enjoy your wonderful Berlin evening. And
Thank you.
we'll talk soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on. It was great.
And we're back.
Harmony.
Kind of. Thank you, Sarah, for coming on a second time, sharing everything that you did, and for all of the work that you do as well. It was wonderful to talk with you. Thank you again.
Yeah, a quick reminder that links to all of Sarah's work are in the podcast show notes over at normalizingnonmonogamy.com. Click on the podcast tab, and there you'll see all of our previous guests and information about everything that they've ever talked about. You can also find over there more information about our virtual community, which we told you about, but primarily what's coming up is in just like a week and a half, we have an event coming up here in the East Bay, an in-person event from October 3rd to the 5th. So please check out that information. We'd love to have you join us. We also have a workshop coming up, a virtual one, on October 16th. So much stuff happening, and you don't want to miss it, so come be a part of it.
You can go find out everything over on the community tab, as Finn said.
Do it. Go do it. I'm getting aggressive over here.
Next week, we're going to be bringing you a super fun interview with Rowan and Aaron.
With a special guest. Makes a quick cameo.
Yes, you'll understand when you listen.
And you will listen.
It's a really great interview. So come back in a week and listen.
And we'll see you then.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening.